things that got kicked out of the can when we're doing this building over here. And now we're funding Blue Gym, we're funding HVAC, we're funding, you know, because they said, not
It was $57 million.
Right,
at this
right,
point.
okay, I get it. But now we're addressing it. So is this sort of compared to that we address it now, or do we address it later? I mean, that's what we have to try to decide. If that's what you guys,
It's like we're trying to do everything
At one time.
at one time.
And it
During
doesn't-
a building project.
And by no means do we need the exact decision tonight, but we need a discussion that says, yes, this is something we are interested in. If you're not interested, you just have to let it, that's off the table. But I just want to bring it up to have a discussion. Yes, we're interested, let's pursue it further, let's continue to get some more numbers, like, that's kind of the discussion I'm looking for. By no means do we have to make a flat out 100% decision tonight, but we just need some feedback here.
Well, I'd say that it's definitely interesting so that we're not handcuffing ourselves in the future and eliminating opportunities when we have the opportunity. It just all depends on the finances. And we don't have the numbers to make that decision tonight. We can make a decision.
And like what Tom said, if there's a 1% chance we're even thinking about spending the track or spending the field, we know we already paid, then we're kind of, as you said.
Do you have to have a certain number of lanes to host things for like playoffs?
Bigger events, yes, yes. It's not really playoffs, but like I have a whole list of like photos for 8-lane tracks.
Well, what's our interest in hosting? What do we get out of this?
Revenue.
How much revenue?
It could range from, it depends, if you have like 3 to 5 invitationals a year, it could range from $30,000 to $50,000.
Okay.
So revenue, I'm
Not-
talking.
Not an insignificant number, okay?
No, and I sent Tom, I have a revenue stream that goes through, because you're dabbling in my world now, you know what I mean? And track meets are a big moneymaker that people don't know about. I mean, besides you charge each team $300 to $500 when they come in, you can charge each, open runner coming in $25. You know, we do that with our kids now that go to indoor meets, but
do
we
our
charge.
kids pay that to other schools and venues?
Yeah, and there's not much going on in this area, so.
So have we hosted any other events on our football field? Or for hockey or football, or, I imagine that's.
We could, like, if we had, like, that'd be up to the coaches, if they want to organize something. Only thing we could host is like a YAI or championship, but we don't get that money.
Okay.
It goes
Why
to
would we get
YAI.
track money? It would be an open meet?
The track
Rather than
meet money would go
YAI,
to
correct.
us.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And I don't know if we could host a YAI track meet, because that's every Division 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
I don't know if we have the stand, and we don't even have the restrooms. Well, porta potties we can run, but there's just so much potential for a track meet that people don't know, and a lot of people don't do it because it's a pain. But like I said, you're in my world, I know how to run one. And what the cost of it would be is hiring a timing company to come in, which would be beneficial because FATs are astronomical, about $25,000 to $30,000 to buy an FAT, let alone getting someone to
Tell me what
run
an
it.
FAT is?
FAT is fully automatic timing.
Oh,
So it's, the photo finishes at the
Right.
end, and to buy
Okay.
something like that, schools don't because it costs too much money and they don't have people know how to run it. So what you do is you hire like Lynx, that's a huge popular company, they come in for like $2,000 and do your meet, boom, done, wrap. They even have little iPads for the event, it's an idiot proof too.
Yeah.
Boop, boop, and you're done. So the cost going out isn't much. And your event workers,
So the question really is, if we look at this tonight, as we go forward, if the board wishes to keep the softball field as is and renovate in that same fashion, then we don't have an opportunity to do this track without spending more money in the future to do something to the softball field.
No, I'm all for preparing for the future, quite frankly. But we missed an opportunity with the gym. And we're gonna be down the gym because we're gonna put the gym on the renovation and build. We really are. We messed up, as far as I'm concerned.
And Brian,
if we sell the middle school, we're really gonna be in bad shape as far as gym space goes in the winter time. I don't know how we're gonna overcome that, other than trying to put somewhere on it. What we're gonna
be a lot of creative.
Yeah, it will be creative planning and people are, yeah, absolutely. I work with the youth kids, where are they going? Because the junior high and junior varsity programs will be the first rather than the youth kids. But you can't put a program unless you have a program. I think it's very important for kids. And I know it's actually too important for kids today.
Shelley, can you answer your question for me? What would an expansion of the track do to the uses of the infield inside the track?
So the dimensions that they gave us, I went through, and these are full legit size fields.
Yeah.
So soccer would be a 120 by 70, field hockey 100 by 60, and if we add lacrosse, we'll have a lacrosse field. But right now we don't. And it would cost us $15,000 to $20,000 to put lawns on the turf if we wanted to add
Oh, wow.
lacrosse lines.
Well, that's close to being redone anyway.
Yeah, that'll still cost more, but if we
Right.
wanted to put it in sooner rather than later, that's
Right.
what the cost of that's
Right.
gonna be. But, I mean, you can host tournaments there, you can host little camps there, I mean, there's so much, the youth can use it. It's not utilized well right now.
Yeah.
So help me to understand your world a little better.
Okay, you sure?
Right now, we have, what, 60% use of facility, and if we do this, because your revenue is whatever, I mean, or do you even have?
We don't make any revenue right now on that field right now.
Okay, so if this happens to be put forth, will there be revenue, not just, when you say track, you're involving all the different sports that would be in that. It wouldn't be just, like, okay, lacrosse is bringing something, football's bringing something,
What do you mean, using the track?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, using the track with 8 lanes, and there's so many benefits of using the wear and tear. We have 8 lanes now, not 6 lanes, so the wear and tear would be spread out evenly. Is that what you're talking about? Just the use of the track or
I'm
the
just trying to
field?
understand how, go ahead.
I think he's asking about ticketing for events within the interior of the track.
So, we did mention that, and that would have to be a little creative, and I've seen other schools and how they do it when they don't have like a fence and they don't have like something to barricade. What they've done is blocked off the parking area, so you can't get into the parking area until you buy your ticket. So that was a creative way I just saw done. That would be a way if we wanted to charge for, a varsity event that's going on there, we can do it that way.
Because the stands are outside of the track.
Yeah, so we have to block off the parking lot to kind of do that.
And that's another issue with the stands, because right now the stands are all being put in the track for certain events, right? Am I correct?
No, they're all out.
They're out.
They're all out.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Well, we'd have more room for the bunches if we extended the fields as well.
Does the one captain still use our track at all?
Not that I said no right now, so any further charging or anything like that. But no.
Well, I hate to see charging.
Right, we haven't come up with, right.
But then, well, they might not be willing to pay.
Well, that's okay then.
Right, so that's why I think they're not
Well,
using it, right? Is because they
But I mean,
don't
just
pay.
don't say no, say here's, here's what it's gonna cost you, and I hope that you will charge if you want, but.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
know I proposed
So we're
something.
getting off track with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
but,
never mind, okay.
um,
Any questions about this?
I think I agree with, we need to see, we definitely need to see more information on it, but I think we would be doing a disservice not to be doing future money, at least in the finance pages.
But we need to get numbers.
Yeah, so this will be, now that we have, so like, what I said before, is Turf Traffic Court started this, I said, give us models, we can't do anything else until we have these models to have the discussion. Now that we have discussion and said we are open to this option, we will now say, okay, let's tentatively give us like a design that says, okay, if we pick these few things, what's some of the costs? Because that was the feasibility, was it was so high level that the range was wide. So when he started asking questions, and he started answering, he could give us a better targeted number, and that could be higher or lower than his feasibility study, based on what we picked.
Yeah.
This
But
is
the
something
surprise-
we could phase in over a half dozen years. So can we orient the track? I mean, can we reorient the softball field and stay 1 year, go out another 2, 3 years, do your track, go out another, whatever, and phase it in over a half a dozen years? Is that
If you're gonna
something?
resurface the track, do it then.
Yeah, I mean, so we just don't take this all on at once, or is it better to take it all on at once? or-
I think that right now, it's just about reorienting.
It's just about
Yeah.
to allow
Yeah.
reorienting the track, or the softball.
Yeah, so
That's all it is.
to allow if we, so right now in 27-20, like I said with the track, that's the first look, for the first time, that's gonna be on the capital project plan to be addressed. The board, like always, when that comes in October, if it says, can we get another year, can we squeeze 2, 3 more
Right.
years? And that's something we will address when that time comes. Right now, that's just the placeholder for the time.
Okay.
If at that point in time, it's not financially viable, we can squeeze a couple more years, we don't have to do it. But if we don't do reorient
But if we don't reorient the softball, nothing can
Nothing
happen
can
down the road.
Correct, and that's why we brought it, because if we didn't, then if we get to that point, we said, well, now we're looking to expand, why didn't, then we bring it up?
And remind me, did we not already approve doing site work on the practice field football?
No, that was declined.
That was declined, okay. All right.
So you're saying, you give us these numbers, it's not gonna affect the track.
No, just softball. The baseball's gonna stay as is, because until we go through design, I won't have the updated numbers. The softball with this was such a drastic difference when we saw these designs that now we had.
I think I was under the impression that when we're doing the track, clearly it was like.
No, but
expensive.
it unfortunately morphed into the track being a, yeah,
Part of the,
major
part
factor.
of the deal. Okay, so basically, we're just moving baseball.
We're just reorienting softball.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, we're just gonna look at it to get the cost, and we'll come back.
Right.
If at that point in time, we will reassess, but that's all I needed was, if we're interested in looking at.
So does that mean that whole field in there is gonna have to be regraded?
Just
Redone?
just
I mean, that
up
whole.
Just up to the outfield, just out to the fence.
And know how far down, say down to about mid-track, or about where the public is now, or is that?
It's about mid-track.
About mid-track?
Well, that's where the field is. The fence
Yeah,
would
so
go
The
over
fence,
there.
the fence would be,
Almost three
just
quarters.
probably just past the track.
Okay.
Would probably be. You're regrading down rather than.
Well, I'm just trying to think down the road, are we gonna create another problem later as we regrade just half there and all the water?
There is a, so we already looked at, there's a drainage already existing that would be drained off towards this house. There's a ditch there, the whole part drainage already currently going.
So we're not causing.
So we're not gonna cause problems down the road?
We looked at that already, yes. That was one of the first conversations of where this, all the water can go.
So you guys did move it forward?
Yep.
Okay.
So that'll be next meeting on that?
I can't answer that because we're at the mercy of how fast her back and forth can kind of compile, meet and compile information, but I will be, but it's at the end of this month, is our next meeting.
Does anyone have any questions?
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we'll jump into the next topic. So, tax collectors, tax collectors we have for each municipality to collect our portion of real estate taxes. They are an elected official, and next year's an election year, so by law, we have to have a compensation plan for the district a year prior, and it has to be set by, has to be board approved by February 15th. So this is the 4th year, so it has to be this year. It goes into effect, won't go into effect until January 2026, post the election results. Who's appointed. So what we're looking at for the compensation plan here is we're looking to raise the rates minimally for the next 4 years, and that's due to there was a rate block the past 8 years. So the tax collectors have not witnessed a raise for any of their collection dates since 2018. So we'll jump. Any questions on the tax collector resolution? This is why we have to do this. By law, we have to because of election year. That's what we're looking at. So we're gonna look at the rates of that. So with the raise of the tax collector compensation, this is kind of a twofold problem. So tax collectors are elected officials, but we also want to make it enticing that somebody wants to run, collect taxes. So it is a nominal fee to collect taxes per bill. So right now in our current resolution, we have $3.30 per bill or $1.10 per installment. And per capita bills is $202.35. So the proposed would be a budget increase next year, if we would pursue this, is $4,000, go up to $3.54 per bill per $1.18 per installment, and per capita would go up to 20 cents to $2. So this is, like I said, a twofold problem. We want to actually have our tax collect, somebody run the tax collection, because if we don't, then we have to have somebody appointed, and normally it's somebody within the district, or hiring somebody, or going out to the public and asking somebody to be a tax collector. So that creates a problem then internally of who collects them, how do we do it, how do we make sure that we are internally meeting the controls, that they're separate, they can collect there, then we can do it in-house. But we also have to reconcile it now, so they have to be our employee, but separate internally. We have to look at that. So that's why this ask is on here, because we want, we acknowledge their hard work, and that's why this proposal is so good. So any questions on putting this forward? I know the timing wise, February wouldn't go into effect until January of 2026, so this budget increase would only go into effect in 2026, and this would lock in for 4 years at this rate. So it could be an initial increase, and then it would be status quo over 4 years.
Did they like ask for this?
So I'm still in meeting with them to hear feedback if this is not something that they're unhappy with. Some of it is, this is the environment that when I met with all the other business managers, they are doing this same thing as they recognize that it's a struggle to get tax collectors, that to do this is how they keep them. So this is, everybody's gonna have this in front of the board, and everybody we talk to is going to raise.
So what happens if you don't get the tax collector? They quit, who does the job?
So from the township perspective, the township gets to appoint their person, or they can try to get somebody, and then we have the opportunity. Typically, what you try to do is try to get the same person. It doesn't happen. So if they pick somebody else, we want somebody, we have to take care of that ourselves. So we have to. So for example, we have the tax collector who resigned mid-year. They appointed the county. We just appointed the county alongside them, but we're still paying the county to collect. But they're at the mercy of being able to hire them. I met with them. They're struggling to be able to keep up their work. So they're not going to be able to take it on, so to speak, at large.
And do we still have the county collecting, it's German Township, correct? So the county's collecting, and are they collecting our fee schedule, or do they set?
Correct. They are, but they wouldn't have to. But they currently do.
Do they charge more?
They couldn't charge, they could renegotiate that because of the count, but they, at the moment, they just honor current existing contracts. Because a lot of times they're short term because they want an elected person, but they don't have to honor the exact resolution, the same past practice they have. So we can put it, everything I always say, we can always change it back. This is just a proposal. But as of right now, I've asked for their comments. They have provided no comments of an opposition, so I don't think anybody's opposed to it. This was just based off of conversations with other surrounding districts about what their raises were and how to get that part. Obviously, no district's exactly the same size, but we kind of roughly get, so everybody's a wild range of what they pay their tax collectors. We did take statistics tax collector. For dual year, we all ask what everybody's doing, so we don't stay consistent.
So you really don't know if this is a problem yet, if you don't.
Yeah, because it's an election year, whoever runs, we have no control of who runs for election.
Somebody,
Correct. We have
somebody might not run because you
Do you
don't pay
think
them.
Do you think that this few extra cents is really gonna be that enticing to make somebody wanna do the job if they wouldn't wanna do it otherwise?
It-
20 extra cents?
I mean, for them, it just depends on, I can't speak for their personal circumstances to know if that's gonna make an effect. But this is just where we ended up based off of other people's, ranges, that this is kind of where they're going. We didn't do the last raise that other people did as well. So like I said, we had 8 years, we held it steady. So we do it again, it's 12 years of
When does this have to be decided upon? Is it by mandate, by?
February, yeah, February, so
So
February.
we don't really
15th.
have any time, like you can't go and talk to them and kind of get how they feel about it.
So I have meetings scheduled. Unfortunately, the snow kind of pushed those back. So I have 2 today, and